Welcome to the Vault Excel. Thank you for joining me. This commentary is by CBS News Chicago.
Loved ones of Sonya, Massey, and the community had the chance to speak to members of the Justice Department tonight.
3 weeks ago, she was shot and killed by a sheriff's deputy who is now charged with murder.
Our Charlie DeMar is in Springfield, where the sheriff admits his department failed Massey.
Sangamon County Sheriff Jack Campbell says his department didn't do their job the night Sonya Massey was shot and killed by now former deputy Sean Grayson.
She called for help and we failed her.
Right?
That's all she did. That's all she did was call for help.
It's been a week since body camera video was released showing Grayson shooting and killing Massey in her home after she called 911 to report a prowler. Grayson was charged with murder and has pled not guilty.
And we do that by prosecuting cases in Sangamon County without fear or favor.
Grayson was working for his 6th department since 2020 when he shot and killed Massey.
I don't understand how you hire a volcano. I don't expect for it to run.
His turbulent career started when he was discharged from the Army for misconduct. Then, 2 years before shooting and killing Massey, during his time with the Logan County Sheriff's Department, Grayson was reprimanded for putting false information in his police reports.
And the second streets is taken out, right?
And records show Grayson refused an order by a superior at the Logan County Sheriff's Department to terminate a high-speed chase over a traffic infraction. His speeds at times reaching 110 miles per hour.
I'm about 7. She's flying up 121 right now.
But he didn't stop chasing until he hit a deer. The union representing Sangamon County Sheriff's deputies is asking that former Deputy Grayson be reinstated and reimbursed for any lost wages.
Her family will send that.
Springfield Mayor Misty Busher.
What message does that send that the union would fight to reinstate this officer?
So I am a pro-union mayor. First of all, with that union, I would not agree with, and I would fight them to the finish.
Sheriff Campbell declined to answer our questions on camera. Tuesday, the Massey family will be in Chicago for a rally. In Springfield, I'm Charlie DeMar, CBS News, Chicago.
Well, and that is today, and they were in Chicago, and we will play a little bit of that commentary. We're going to give you a little bit of everything. Thank you for joining me. CBS Chicago again pertaining to the sessions of Mr. Grayson. I think we'll go to ABC News. Hello, Froggy, how are you? Thank you all for joining me. Please check my YouTube shorts and uploads and live streams in the YouTube queue and posts. Thank you.
Shooting of Sonya Massey and new questions about the now fired Illinois Sheriff's deputy who killed her. Newly released audio indicates concern from a senior officer for past behavior. Alex Perez is in Chicago with the latest. Good morning to you, Alex.
Hey, good morning, Robin. Yeah, we're learning a lot more about former Deputy Sean Grayson's past. That he jumped from one law enforcement agency to another. Warning, some of those images may be tough to watch. This morning, new details on former Deputy Sean Grayson's troubling history in law enforcement. 30-year-old Grayson worked at 6 police departments in 4 years.
7 months on. How are you still employed by us?
I don't know. That's Grayson in a 2022 recording responding to his then boss, Deputy Chief Nathan Miller at the Logan County, Illinois Sheriff's Office, questioning him about his mishandling of a traffic case.
Do you understand that's a violation of pursuit policy?
Yes, I do. Grayson was accused of violating department policy and submitting inaccurate reports.
But a lot of officers have been charged and end up in jail because that's what they perceived. Official misconduct will land you in jail.
Grayson's integrity also raised.
Others will say you have no integrity and you're lying. I'm calling you on your integrity. How does that make you feel?
I'm learning from it.
I don't get angry.
Logan County eventually terminating Grayson.
If we can't trust what you say and what you see, we can't have you in our uniform.
Grayson.
This is Logan County speaking to him, a superior. What's interesting is that he's very calm. He's not combative. Superior asks him, how does he feel about what he's saying to him? It's kind of like, why are you asking him that? I don't know. I'm learning from it. He also admitted he didn't have experience. I don't know what to say. But no combativeness, no talking back, no smack talking. Just, I'm learning from this. He didn't really have much to say. If you listen carefully, I'm learning from this. Go back a minute.
Grayson's integrity also raised.
Others will say you have no integrity and you're lying. I'm calling you on your integrity. How does that make you feel? Learning from it? I don't get angry.
Logan County.
That right there, I don't get angry. The son will say, well, you got angry when you shot Miss Massey, depending on your interpretation of that fateful day, July 6th. Very calm, very even spoken. I don't get angry. Maybe he was saying, I don't care. I don't really care what you think, what you have to say. He's just a person who just don't like to follow rules. He didn't like to follow rules in the military. He didn't like to follow rules as a police officer, deputy. He's combative. He does his own thing. I don't know if he's the type that he spurs back, pops back with the tongue. Don't know. We'll wait to see if someone has anything to say about that. But in the earlier commentary, you heard he was on a high-speed chase when he was told to stop. He hit a deer. So now that's damage to a police car. Now in this commentary you hear by ABC News, he was lying in his report. So what did he lie about? How many times was he caught lying? What was the lie about? And that's a dangerous thing because more than likely you're talking about somebody's life, somebody's livelihood. So when you lie about whatever you're putting in the reports, that's a problem. And as you hear the superior saying, it's about integrity. Hey, what do you think about what these other guys have to say about what you're doing? He probably felt like, I don't care. Hell, they're probably doing the same damn thing. What do I care? I'm new at this. Was that his attitude? He didn't care when he was being spoken to by this Logan County superior. I don't really care. I don't have much experience. Who gives a shit? I don't know. I don't know him. But it's interesting listening to him. He's very calm in this exchange. I'm learning from it was his response. I don't get angry. Maybe he meant I'll just get even. Just a little mild humor.
Eventually terminating Grayson.
If we can't trust what you say and what you see, we can't have you in our uniform.
Grayson now behind bars and charged with murder for the July 6th shooting of Sonya Massey in her home near Springfield, Illinois.
Now here they say he was terminated. I thought that he left. So was he terminated or he left? Which is it? So maybe that's why all this scrutiny is coming down on the sheriff, Mr. Sheriff, Sangamon County Sheriff, is that if he was terminated, you should have known that. But we have now that sheriff, Sangamon County, saying he doesn't know of any improprieties anywhere else in any other agency. So what is the truth? Did they know that he was terminated? Because at first they made it seem like he left the department in Logan County. So did he leave or he didn't? Terminated or not terminated? I'm confused. What's the truth? My thing is this. Arguing about it now is really like, it's pointless. Because he should have never been hired. You can't have one without the other. So to go on and on and on about, well, he should have been here, he should have been here. But he was, that's the point. He wasn't at just one agency, 2 agencies, 3 agencies, 4 agencies, 5 agencies, 6 agencies. Okay, you're now on hand 2. So to argue about it now, it's like, what's the point? What's the point? He should have never been hired. So he could never have got to number 6. That's my take on it. Because you can go back and forth all day about coulda, woulda, shoulda. He should have never been hired because he had a criminal record. Now, if the state of Illinois say, oh, well, we'll hire you anyway with a criminal record, then that is something that they need to address. Because most people are going to say, well, how far are you going to go in letting people train to be an officer or deputy with a criminal record? So you need to start at the beginning. Why are you hiring someone who's already shown you they have a drinking problem and they like to get behind the wheel of a car? They had a general discharge from the military. He went from place to place for whatever reason. He didn't live in a jurisdiction. It was part-time work, whatever his reasons were. But with Logan County, this one is coming out more serious than the other agencies. He was not following protocol. He's lying. He's putting in deceptive information into the reports. That's a problem. He didn't take a command. He kept driving when he wasn't supposed to on a chase. The superior told him to stop. He wouldn't. Then he hit a damn deer. Now imagine it had that been a person or human or car. He wrecked, hit somebody's car when they told you to stop. Then it was dark too. If you look at the audio, it's dark. So you're riding out in the middle of nowhere, flying down the highway, and a damn deer jumps out. And I guess the deer is saying, well, hell, I was here first. Is he that type of person? He's combative in a way that he don't say anything. He just does what he wants, but he don't say nothing. He don't own it. Don't say, yeah, I know I shouldn't have done that. Because here, he doesn't say, well, yeah, I made a mistake. Yeah, I was wrong. Yeah, I lied. Yeah, this. I'm learning.
Massey called police to report a possible prowler. Things quickly escalate when deputies told her she could remove a pot of boiling water from the stove. Grayson has pleaded not guilty. Massey's heartbroken and angry family now wondering why Grayson was able to jump from department to department. Her father speaking to ABC affiliate KATV.
Our whole family is in disarray. The main focus of everybody is that this animal gets justice. He gets exactly what he deserves.
Overnight, the Sangamon County Sheriff apologizing.
I'm sorry. She called for help and we failed. That's all she did. That's all she did, call for help.
And Grayson was also discharged from the Army for serious misconduct. He is being held without bond. His attorney declined to comment.
Robin's also he was charged with 2 DUIs as well. The more you learn, the more questions that we have. Now, how he was able to keep a job like that. Okay. Thank you so much, Alex.
Keep a job like that. But once again, should have never been allowed to do the training. As I said, you can't have one without the other. It's jacked up. So we have the sheriff, Mr. Campbell, apologizing, saying we failed. Sonya Massey had them a little town hall meeting. People were allowed to go in to sit in and give their opinion pertaining to this unaliving of a young woman in her home. And we'll play a little more of that. CBS News accountability. Will there be accountability? He's not wanting to step down, sheriff. He'll probably have no choice. He looked a little meek in that exchange, like, Lord have mercy, what has happened? You're an old man. You're okay. You've lived a long time, worked a long time, I'm sure, in law enforcement. You'll be all right, as they say. You have a better chance of faring than your counterpart, Mr. Grayson. He's the one that's young and dumb.
Killed by police after calling 911 for help. Residents of Springfield, Illinois expressed outrage at a town hall yesterday. They're demanding answers for the death of Sonya Massey, who was shot in her own home by a deputy with a checkered past. Charlie DeMar has the story.
I don't understand how you hire a volcano and don't expect for it to run.
Springfield residents demanded accountability from local leadership Monday, weeks after Sangamon County Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson shot and killed Sonya Massey in her home.
You're hiring officers who shouldn't even be given the right to wear that badge.
County Sheriff Jack Campbell said he was sorry, but he wouldn't step down.
We failed. We did not do our jobs.
I'm going to step down.
Grayson was fired over Massey's death and charged with first-degree murder. He has pleaded not guilty. CBS News has learned Grayson, who had worked for 6 police departments since 2020, had a history of disciplinary issues, including during his time with the Logan County Sheriff's Office in Illinois, where he was reprimanded for appearing to falsify information on a police report and disobeying a command to terminate a high-speed chase until he hit a deer.
Do you agree, before we conclude this, that there's a mountain of policy violations that you committed?
And now, despite Massey's shooting death, the police union representing Grayson filed a grievance against the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office, arguing he was terminated without just cause and calling for his reinstatement. Springfield Mayor Misty Busher.
What message does that send that the union would fight to reinstate this officer?
So I am a pro-union mayor, but that union I would not agree with, and I would fight them to the finish in the court of law. It saddens me that he had a badge to begin with.
Emotions clearly high here in Springfield last night. Later today in Chicago, Massey's family will join a large rally in her honor, continuing their calls for justice. Michelle?
Charlie, thank you.
All right, CBS. Hello, everybody in the chat. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Just putting some posts up. Hold on. Okay. As you heard, the mayor says she will not sign on to have him reinstated. FOP wants him reinstated with pay. Said he was fired without cause. I'm putting all this to my community page. Hold on one second. The mayor says she will not sign on to have Sean Grayson. Oh, my typing is horrible right now. Sean Grayson reinstated. So we'll put right or wrong. Mr. Campbell says he won't step down. How do you feel about that? Should he be reinstated and pay reimbursed? That's what the FOP wants. Take the poll. Also, Mr. Grayson and his partner were not at Sonya Massey's home the day before. The son said he thought that was them that was there, but allegedly they're saying that they were not there. Neither partner or him were at her house the day before, but there was another call that came from her mother's house. So what was that all about? I have no earthly idea. That's the information I brought you yesterday. So they had the town hall meeting. The sheriff was there. He apologizes. He admits they failed Miss Massey, but he will not be stepping down. Should he step down? Should he step down? Matter of fact, I'm just going to put, should he be fired? 1 second. Feel free to take the poll. Nobody knows your answers. Nobody knows it's you responding. It's all anonymous. 1 second, everybody. I meant to do this yesterday. Should Sacramento County Sheriff be fired? This is what happens when things go bump in the night, such as the debacle with former President Trump, other mishaps that happened of violence. They always want to go for the head honcho, the sheriff, the chief, the commissioner, whomever. So should this man be fired because what Mr. Grayson did? Take the poll. So now we've heard about accountability. We've heard the leaked audio. What else do I have? Let's hear from Mr. Sharpton. What he has to say. This is the rally that took place in Chicago today. Thank you all for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $McGangie, 129 Cash App, stickers and chats. Always welcome during the live stream. Let's get down to business. Sorry about that. Oh, these murder commercials are endless.
The calls for justice for Sonya Massey.
She's a woman shot and killed in her home by a sheriff's deputy earlier this month near Springfield. WGN's Ann Rutledge is joining us live from New Mount Pilgrim Church, where a rally is getting underway right now. Dan?
Yes, just a bit ago, there was more of a press conference.
Now, I just put this question up a minute ago. Should the sheriff be fired? Only 3 of you voted, but no says 33%, 67% says yes. So at least 2 of you said yes, and another 1 of you said no. Interesting. It's not sure has 0%. Then I got another question. The mayor says she will not sign on to have Sean Grayson reinstated. Right, 50%. Wrong, 50%. Only 2 of you voted. So 1 of you think it was right. 1 of you thought it was, think she's wrong for not signing on. Interesting. Very interesting.
That took place inside the church, and now a rally inside as well is underway. Members of Sonya Massey's family spoke of it earlier, including one of her children, as well as her mother and her uncle. Reverend Al Sharpton and also civil rights attorney Ben Crump are inside supporting this family after this fatal police-involved shooting that happened earlier this month downstate. Now, this took place in the early morning hours of July 6th in Springfield. Sonya Massey had called 911 from her apartment for help. The 36-year-old reporting a suspected prowler outside. Sangamon County Deputy Sean Grayson and his partner responded to the call. Body cam video shows the officers entering her apartment asking for her ID. Then Deputy Grayson asked her to take a pot of hot water off the stove and set it down. Massey did so, then ducked, apologizing. Seconds before Grayson then fires 3 rounds at her, hitting her in the face. Illinois State Police investigated, and in the days that followed, the Sangamon County State's attorney charged Deputy Grayson with first-degree murder, aggravated battery with a firearm, and official misconduct. He has also been fired from the sheriff's office. Inside, a short time ago, we heard from the father of Sonya Massey's 15-year-old daughter, as well as her 17-year-old son.
Oh, I had heard from the daughter.
First, her mom called me. I don't know how I drove there, but I drove there and made it there. And it's so much of a cover-up from one law enforcement agency lied to the next agency.
Wait, hold on. Who is this guy?
For me, I don't know how I drove.
Father of Sonya Massey's daughter. Okay. This is Jimmy Crawford. He is the father of Miss Massey's daughter.
And it's so much of a cover-up from one law enforcement agency lied to the next agency to tell them that she did it to herself. My mother, she's everything to me. I love her.
my whole heart. Like I can't believe none of this is going on right now. And she means everything to me.
Family members said today that they learned Massey was shot and killed by a police officer from the media the following day. Attorney Ben Crump and others here also discussing a recent police union grievance filed on behalf of Deputy Grayson. The Illinois FOP Labor Council, though, now saying it will no longer pursue reinstatement of Grayson. Crump acknowledging that development inside just a short time ago. He also expressed concerns over Grayson's employment record, working at 6 different police departments in a span of 4 years, calling for Illinois lawmakers to pass a law in Sonya Massey's name that would prevent law enforcement officers with serious infractions from moving to new jurisdictions. We do know as well, Sangamon County Sheriff Jack Campbell has not agreed with calls for him to resign. We'll have much more on the rally that is now taking place inside this church later tonight on our new.
Let me hear that again, what she said.
To pass a law in Sonya Massey's name that would prevent law enforcement officers with serious infractions from moving to new jurisdiction.
Well, let's stop right there. Everything has a start and a finish. The start is, as I said before, he should have never been able to go into training. That's number one. Moving around, have a law as far as moving around. That makes no sense either. It still goes back to the same thing. You shouldn't be there. So let's say he didn't have any criminal records, but he has reprimands at an agency, okay? He shouldn't be there either. I don't care who we're talking about. We can talk about Mickey Mouse, doesn't matter. If you are in law enforcement and you have a lot of problems on the job, allegations of whatever, lying, stealing, fudging reports, deception, making up stuff, coercion, witnesses, tampering with evidence, stealing evidence, your ass needs to be gone. You don't need a law about moving them around. You need a law that says, this is how far we're going to go with you at this law enforcement agency. That's the point. And don't need to jumping all on 15th Street to say, we're going to make a law about moving around. No. We're going to get your ass out of here. So you're not going to be going anywhere else. Damn. Say pushing the cart before the horse. You can't go nowhere because you're going to be fired. How about that? That's the point. See, he shouldn't have even had the job in the first place just because he was arrested. But that's up to the state of Illinois. So you all in Illinois, my great home, you all have got to wrangle with the state about who you're going to allow in for training. See, everything has a start. Grayson did not just walk up and put on a uniform and a badge and say, hey, I'm a deputy. Hey, I'm a police officer. You all gave him that title. So it starts with the government. You allowed him to train. That's number one. Number two, he hopped for whatever reason. Logan, last place, Logan County, gave him the reprimand about lying, deception, hitting the deer, blah, 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 high-speed chase. And then you sent him on. But see, what you should have done was took him before a board to say, he doesn't need to be an officer. What's the purpose in letting him resign or you fire him and then he goes on to another place to go get another job and now we have a murdered person? So here you go. Now, what I want to ask the chat is this. How would you feel about Mr. Grayson if you didn't know none of these things about him? Because you got to remember, when he unalived her, you didn't know anything about this past with the military, the reprimand from Logan County. So would you feel the same about him if you had not known about his past? It's a good question. Very good question. But to talk about a law of officers moving around, that makes no sense to me, only because somebody has to make a sound decision to say, hey, this is a bad apple. He's lying, he's making up stuff. He don't have much experience. I don't think he's cut out for this type of work, blah, blah, blah. And even if he was a veteran and you saw that he was lying and, fabricating the information, I still say let him go. Because what people don't understand, for some crazy reason, how you start is how you finish. You start out lying, you're going to end up lying. That's just common sense. He's got a badge. He's got the opportunity to do worse. And that's where we are now. We're at the part that's worse. And it's a sad thing to say because, a lot of people say, well, a thief don't make a killer. A liar don't make a killer. But usually a killer is a thief and a liar. Sometimes. No shuffling around. Just cut them off as soon as you see they've been lying. Because now people are going to ask, well, how many reports did you find Grayson lying and fabricating information? Because if you have more than 2 reports, you have a major problem. And now we got to wait to hear how many reports they found that he fabricated information. Now you're going to have to go back in the book of life to every damn log report he ever wrote. And it has to be investigated thoroughly to say, yes, this was right what he did. His assertions were correct in the traffic stop, arrest, so on and so forth.
So we do know as well, Sangamon County Sheriff Jack Campbell has not agreed with calls for him to resign. We'll have much more on the rally that is now taking place inside this church later tonight on our news at 9. Live in Garfield Park, Dana Reddick, WGN News.
All right, Garfield Park. We know where Garfield Park is. South side of Chicago. Lord, take me back. Amen. How did it come to this? As I say, everything's a choice. Everything's a choice. How you start is how you finish. He should have never been able to train. That's number one. That was a choice by the Illinois state government. Their training protocol, they allow you to have a criminal record. So they need to start with them. So the Masseys are contemplating suing Sangamon County Sheriff Department. So I say start at the top. Start with the people who allowed him to train and work your way on down. That's where I would start. Illinois State. Police Academy, Training Academy, whatever you call it. Start there and work your way on down. And work your way on down to every department. You find any improprieties done in any of the departments, you sue them too. You sue Sangamon. You keep it moving. Now the sheriff, he don't want to resign. Of course he don't. He's an elderly man. He shouldn't mind resigning. Just let it go. They're going to fire you probably anyway, so you might as well resign so you can get your pension and everything. Because you don't want to be fired, sir. And you could tell in that town hall meeting, he was looking real grim. So it ain't even worth losing out on a pension. Just go on and resign. You're older. You're old man. Let it go. Just go and let it go. Hey, somebody got to pay the piper, as people love to say. As you see with the Secret Service situation, boom. What happened there? She didn't want to resign, and then boom, she resigned. Damn week later. So you're an old man. Might as well just go on. Because they're going to say, how is it that you didn't know about the damn situation at Logan County and the DUIs? So all these people got to stand account, because you should be asking yourself, well, how is it that he was able to train? We're not talking about already on the job. How are you allowed to train as a criminal? That's weird to me. Because where do you draw the line? Well, he just did a little drinking and driving 2 times. Oh, let it slide. Oh, well, they've just been stealing a couple of times out of Walmart and over here. Let it pass. Oh, they've been defrauding their taxes and stealing from the old ladies' credit cards. Let it pass. Where do you draw the line? Murder? Oh, he really didn't mean to kill his wife. Come on, give him a pass. Now, we also learned that he's engaged. He's supposed to be getting married to a Miss Isabel in the fall. Some people are making up a lot of rumors about who did what, who shot JR. She got him the job, blah, blah, blah. So far, there's no information to say who got whom a job. It just looks odd that her father used to work for Sangamon County, or let's just say ironic. Miss Isabel's father used to work as a chief deputy, retired in 2020, and he just came on into law enforcement in 2020. So what you have to do is prove Who knew whom first? That's how that goes. He comes in 2020. Daddy goes out 2020. Just so happened he's dating a woman whose father used to work for Sacramento County Sheriff's Department. Is there a connection? I don't know. There's other ugly little rumors flying around about her knowing the deceased. That's a very slippery slope. That's something I'm not engaging in. I'm not engaging in that. Because the one thing I don't like doing is passing rumors without proof of something. Because now you're talking Lifetime Netflix type bullshit of who knew whom and it's a setup and he did it on purpose, all that type of crazy nonsense. I don't get down with all that foolishness. Because he had problems before he met Sonya Massey. So that's the point. If there was no Sonya Massey, he still would have that shit on his record with Logan County, and that's the point. Does it have some bearing on what happened at Sonya's house? Some will say yes, some will say no. You're entitled to your opinion. But he had issues before he met her. And as I said, I'm not here to pass any rumors about who got whom a job, didn't know who worked where. I don't know. You got to prove all that. All that's got to be proven. The point is he had no business training, period. Period. So the state has to stand account for that. And any department that had any issues with him, if you didn't divulge that, that's a problem to the next agency he went to. And if the agencies didn't inquire about his past at the last agency, that is a problem. There we have it. CBS News is the next source. So they had a rally in Chicago today. Let's going to play brief information from it. I'm not going to play all of it. Mr. Al Sharpton was in presence today.
Protecting citizens from rogue cops need to be front and center. This need would also create an organized. Dr. King organized it in 1966. This is the sanctuary where we would have delivered eulogy for Tony LaGuerre and Betty Jones. This is the neighborhood that Quan Diamond, whose image is in this stained glass window. And so the legacy of Sonya Massey is now as front and center and justice for his family. So welcome this wonderful family and have Sharpton as well. And then the one that I'm going to turn to Betty Crump, who's going to be with this point on.
Can't hear you, honey.
Justice for Sonya Massey. Justice for Sonya Massey. Justice for Sonya Massey. I'm Attorney Betty Crump, along with Attorney Paul Rickey and Attorney Matthew Jackson and Attorney Jennifer Hightower. We have the honor of representing the family of Sonya Massey. Present here with us is her mother in disbelief that the police officer killed her daughter in her own home. Also present with us is her 17-year-old son, Malachi Massey, who was the first person notified by the hospital that his mother had been shot in the face. And they never told him or anybody else in their family who shot their mother in her face. Also present with us is his 15-year-old daughter, Sonya Massey. Also present is her father, Jimmy, Uncle Raymond, Sonya's uncle, and a whole host of aunts and cousins and sisters who are present with us to get justice for Sonya Massey. Sonya Massey. And we have a special guest, my mentor, our civil rights leader, who didn't think it robbery to come from there with President Biden to get here to Chicago to be with the family of Sonya Massey, just like he was with so many other families, whether that's Trayvon Martin or Michael Brown in Ferguson. Roland White was coming up on 10 years since Michael Brown was killed in Ferguson, hands on those shooters. And Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Tyree Nichols, and so many others. And that is none other than the National Action Network CEO and founder, Reverend Al Sharpton. And before Reverend Al speaks to you, I want to acknowledge the reason we called this press conference, Reverend Al, was because we got so many inquiries, Attorney Jackson and I, after the police union filed a grievance on behalf of Deputy Sean Grayson, who killed Sonya Massey, saying that he was terminated without cause, and that he should be reinstated, given back pay, and have those charges dropped because he acted in self-defense. And I said, my Lord, Reverend Al, today, see the same video we saw? And so we came standing with the family against the police union to respond to them. Her father, James Wilburn, is en route. We came to stand with them as unity to say exactly what Sonya Massey's last words were. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. We said to the police union, we said to the Settlement County, until we get full justice on behalf of Sonya Massey, we rebuke you in the name of Jesus. We said to the state of Illinois, until we get full justice for Sonya Massey, we rebuke you in the name of Jesus. We said to the United States of America, until we get justice for Sonya Massey, we rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And when we stand together in unity for justice, we will prevail. Because we were just told, Reverend Al, about an hour before this press conference, Teresa Haley, that the police union withdrew their grievance to reinstate Deputy Grayson. That's what happens when we stand together. Justice for Sonya Massey.
Let me stop there. That's Mr. Ben Crump speaking, attorney for the Masseys. So why did the FOP change their mind about backing out? They wanted reinstatement for Mr. Grayson. They said he was fired without cause. They wanted him to have his money, retrieve his money, lost wages. But now I guess they see that this is not a back down situation. Nobody's backing down. The supporters, her family, Mr. Crump, others, Now the DOJ is involved. Now the leaked audio is out of his past indiscretions with Logan County Sheriff's Department. So now they're backing out. Because now skeletons are coming out underneath the closet door. And yes, some will say, will feel it was self-defense. His cause, self-defense. I'm assuming that's what his defense is going to be in court. Lawyer will say it was self-defense. You're entitled to your opinion. But right now, the FOP is backtracking their grievance from Sangamon County Sheriff's Department to reinstate Mr. Grayson, give him his back wages. That's the latest development.
Now, without further ado, a man who continues to use his platform to give us hope and give us courage and give us wisdom to fight on the front line in all of these causes. Reverend Al Sharpton.
Let me first say that when I heard and saw the video, I was as outraged as I was when I first saw the video on George Floyd. As outraged as I was when I saw the video with Eric Garner. And I was on the forefront of both of them. I did both of them. And I wanted to reach out after talking to Ben Crump, who I called the Attorney General of Black America. He has been that and has operated in an unselfish way. I've known him since Monty Anderson, some 20 years ago, kids kid, and he's always been there. And I talked to the father and reached out to the mother to say that we would back whatever we had. One thing I want to make clear is that it is the negligence of this government's response to all of these killings that created the climate. After George Floyd, we drafted the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. Among the authors was Kamala Harris, in the act, it dealt with a law enforcement officer being able to go from district to district, getting new job assignments. This office worked in 6 different jurisdictions inside of 4 years. 6, which would have been illegal under the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. DUIs.
Look at Crump whispering 2 DUIs like they in church. Oh my goodness, I can't. Don't forget to say you got 2 DUIs. Crump is something else.
An open process for review if the George Floyd bill had been passed.
He is not for this George Floyd Policing Act, but as Mr. Sharpton is saying here, if this act had passed, Mr. Grayson would not have been allowed to hop from one agency to the other. And as I said, that's all fine and dandy, but you have to have a start. And the start is he should have never been able to train. Number one. And yes, you want to pass a law to say you can't hop from place to place? Great. But then what? They don't hop from place to place. You keep them because what? You're afraid to fire them? Because as you hear, the FOP was saying, well, you all fired him without cause. He was defending himself. And that's what his defense is going to be when he goes to court. I was defending myself. Lord have mercy. What a mess. Will that George Floyd Policing Act bill be passed? See, this is where I have the problem with all of that. You can write up 1,000 bills. But the people don't care. That's the problem. We have bills now. We have laws now. It doesn't mean anything. People don't care. We have laws now that says, hey, you go out here and you murder somebody, you may go to jail. You may get a bond, may not get a bond, bail. But people still go out here and commit crimes. I sit here and I look in the queue every day at all these horrible stories, just endless news broadcasts of murder, mayhem, neglect, all of that for children, elderly, handicapped. And you say to yourself, damn, didn't you just see what happened to somebody yesterday? Why are you going out here murdering somebody or doing crazy shit? Because they don't care. So it doesn't even matter that you have strict laws or strike 3 laws in California, Louisiana, wherever. Oh, we have the death penalty in our state. The criminal is saying, I don't care. That's what people need to understand. Some get a slap on the wrist, some get pretrial release. God forbid they got money to hire a lawyer. Just like, the girl that the other week here in Knoxville, she gets probation after she done killed an elderly man on the damn highway here. And he was attached to her car while she's just riding down the highway. She don't even stop to pull over on the side of the road. She knew he was hung up on her car, his motorcycle. How could you not know? You hit him. Well, she was able to hire a nice lawyer, and now her ass is free. How? How are you free from a hit and run? And that's another thing I don't understand about the judicial system. Public defender versus lawyer. How is it you hire a lawyer, you can get a plea or this or that, a lesser charge, but he or she studied law just like the public defender? What's the difference? I've never understood that. Oh, he hired a lawyer, he got off. Well, what's the difference between the hired lawyer and the public defender? They both studied the same law and should have the same fortitude to offer their client the best defense. So I'm trying to understand what is the damn difference. Is there just some secret code? Well, if they're walking with a lawyer, we give them a plea. I don't understand the system. It's backwards to me.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a good one. Ask whether or not we will appeal for justice for this mother and this young man and this young woman who rose up as the victims of an officer that should have never been on that boat. Never. Yes, we want to see the officer prosecute, but we also want to see the law change. And I'm glad the governor of the North Level is passing, but we need an Illinois law laid out in her name. Yeah. We need to name this after her. That she cannot be switching precincts. If you're bad in one precinct, why would you think all of a sudden you had some kind of Damascus road, knock off the horse, change the heart in another district? A bad cop is a bad cop.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. When they arrest people in our community, what is the first thing that we check our record? Yeah. Well, we should have the right to check the record of all. Check the record. Secondly, the fact that these people can try in any way think about what agreement to keep him working shows you the epitome of an insult and a lack of value in human life. And that is what we are not going to tolerate. And that's why all of us are rallying around this family tonight. Thirdly, I've said to the mother that we are going to look out for these two children. Yeah. This young lady and this young man will have to grow up long after these cameras are gone, long after people are gone. Who's going to look out for them? They can't go to their mom. And we're going to tonight, I talked to my uncle, we're going to start a fund that Reagan's going to control. It ain't going to none of our organizations, none of our churches, straight to Reagan for her and for him. Because we don't want it takes a village to raise a child to be a slogan. We're going to ask the village, raise some money to get tonight.
All right. I'm going to stop there. So I'm not going to hold you all long. That was Mr. Reverend Al Sharpton. They're going to start a fund for the children. They're going to let the uncle preside over the fund for the kids. Amen. No other organizations will be over the money for the children. Yes, that's a good thing. So the children have some money to go to school or take a trade, whatever they decide to do. Oh, the mess just continues to go on and on. Every day is something new pertaining to this case. So I'm going to try to recap as quickly as I can all the information that was relayed during this live stream. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to the Vault Excel. You got information that the FOP was fighting for Mr. Grayson to get his job back, to have lost wages, be reinstated because they felt like he was fired without cause. They feel like he acted in self-defense. Well, now they have backtracked that statement. I guess for some reason, I don't know if it's because of the audio that was leaked or all the people rallying together, the DOJ being involved. Why did they backtrack their statement? I am curious. Okay. We have the Sangamon County Sheriff apologizing for the unaliving of Miss Massey. He admits that they failed her. All she was doing was calling for help. But he will not resign. Please take the polls on my community page if you think he should resign. Do you think he should be fired? Because the thing about this, it's better to resign than to be fired, because he could hold out and then next thing you know, he looks up, they come with the paper saying, well, sir, under the circumstances of all the things we have found out about Mr. Grayson and all these jumping and hopping and skipping from one location to the other, one of you got to stand account for hiring him. So somebody's got to be on the chopping block. And then he'll lose what? His pension and all that for being fired, I'm assuming. I don't know how it goes. So should Sangamon County Sheriff be fired? 67% yes, 28% no, 6% not sure. The mayor says she will not sign on to have Sean Grayson reinstated. She will not. Is this right? Yes. 86% of you said right. 14% of you said it's wrong. Sean Grayson and his partner were not at Sonya Massey's home the day before when she was wrangling and calling, and also another call made from her mother. We hear that the son said that he thought they were the same officers, but information is coming out that they were not on shift the day her son went to the house, and another officer went, but she wasn't there. She was en route to the hospital by car. Once again, 86% agrees with the mayor, saying she won't sign on to reinstate Mr. Grayson. Earlier, I did ask you 40 minutes before, should Grayson be reinstated, pay, reimbursed? 12% yes, 88% no. So we've gone over the audio that's been released where he was reprimanded by the Logan County Superior about his behavior, falsifying documents, reports. Basically, he said he hadn't worked long, he had some learning to do, and he didn't get angry. Take that as you see fit. Now, this audio has been released. The FOP felt like it was wrong for that audio to have been released. That's another question I'm going to put up here on the poll. Should the audio have been released? Because the FOP was against that. So I don't know if they still feel that way or not. So we'll let you take the polls for that. Hold on one second. And I will be putting some more shorts in the queue as soon as I get off of this live. One second. Take the polls. Should the audio have been released? Now, they were in Chicago today, rallying for Miss Massey. Mr. Al Sharpton was present. A lot of family members were present. Mr. Ben Crump was present. They have mentioned also the George Floyd Policing Act, basically saying if this act had already been passed, Mr. Grayson would not have been hopping around from agency to agency. So as I said before, you still got to have a start. He should have never been able to join the academy or police hiring ropes, the training process. That's where your start should be. And if you do find that you have an officer, he or she is lying, stealing, whatever they're doing, then you need to fire them. And then you need to also go before the board to get their badge taken. Don't just fire them so they can then go to another job. And then when somebody calls you to say, hey, why did you fire him? Oh, sorry, we declined to say. Because there are jobs who won't say why they fired a person. So then the person just ends up doing the same BS that they did at the last job. So it don't matter if it's a police or if it's somebody working for Walmart. If you don't say, yeah, we had a problem out of him. Yeah, she was doing this. She was doing that. She lied. She was lazy. She wouldn't come to work. She called in. The next person that hires her, they don't know all that because you don't want to tell them. And then two, some people feel like, well, it's your opinion. What I did, was it wrong or not wrong? See, everything's about perception. That's the one thing the world is built on. Perception. What you think, somebody may think what you think is wrong or what I think is right or vice versa. But the training to me is the start of this nonsense. He had no business being allowed to train. So the Illinois Policing Academy, or however it go, whatever the appropriate name is, you should not allow anyone to train who has a criminal record. I don't care what it's for. Petty theft, DUI. No. And that's another question that people are going to ask. Was he drinking on the job? Did anybody ever smell him drinking? Loafing off? Because let's be truthful. If he's been caught lying in police reports, that means he's just a liar. Say it again, Queen. What are you getting out of lying on random strangers? Did that lead people to believe you're out here profiling people? Because why are you lying? What do you have to lie about? You had probable cause to stop a person, arrest a person. So if you're lying in the reports, then that is your character. And as I tell people, you just don't wake up and start lying. Lying starts when you're young, just like most bad flaws. Liars don't start at 20 and 30 and 50 years old. If you're 50 and lying, you've been lying most of your life. So more than likely, he's been lying since he was a young person. I think he's possibly a combative person. He's a hard nose. He's a hard ass. You can't tell him nothing. And that's how he's lived. That probably somebody in his family probably reared him that way. He probably had a hard-nosed mother or a hard-nosed father. Or he may have had both. May have had broken family, didn't have anybody he could talk to, lean on. So he was just out here navigating, which is what causes a lot of people to act a donkey's ass and talk crazy, act crazy, because they didn't have a good support system. Not making excuses for him, but just saying in general, this is how your identity is formed. So I don't know what his background is, but it's fucked now. It's real effed up. And one question I did ask you all, would you feel the same if you do not care for what he has done and you feel like it was not self-defense in killing Miss Massey? Do you think you would think differently of him had you not heard of all these things in his past? That is another question I want to put on the community page. 1 second. Let me put that up there because I start thinking of things as I'm talking. Okay. So let me put that up here. Hello, everybody in the chat. You say yes, you would? Okay. Let's see. Sean was guilty. Ooh, mercy. I really don't know how to word this. I guess I said, would you think? I guess the same. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, mercy. And let's see, military. General discharge, whatever that means. They won't even tell us what that is. They say it's the DUI. I think it's more than that. They're just not saying. Because you know one thing about the military, they do not tell you everything. We've learned that from other crazy nonsense that's going on. All right, so here's the question. Would you think the same about Sean Grayson if, hold on, if he didn't have a past history of lying, not following orders, and military general discharge? So give you the three options. I'm not going to put don't care. I could. Or, let's see, not sure. No, I'll put this because we got some people who don't really care about anything. So I'll put that option too. See, would you think the same about Sean Grayson if he didn't have a past history of lying, not following orders, and military general discharge? Whew, okay. In my opinion, he's not only a liar, but prejudiced too. Okay. So you think he's racist? Well, I'll put that also as a question. Some people in the beginning didn't feel like he was racist. I'd heard a few people say that. So we'll see. But so far, we haven't heard anything was done racial. I don't know. In his past. I'll think of something else. I'll put it up there. Well, that's the latest, everybody. Feel free to go to my community board to get the information that you heard in this live stream. It's also shared to my community post. Take the polls because I did put up some new polls pertaining to the information in this live stream. Him being racist is one of the questions I've asked. Only got 3 votes. Where I asked you all about Sean Grayson having a past. Would you feel the same about him if you didn't know of his past with the military, not taking orders, and lying? 67% yes, 33% no. And that's only one of you voted no. FOP felt the audio should not have been released pertaining to Sean Grayson being reprimanded. 80% of you said yes. 20% said not sure. Only 5 votes. 1 person has commented. Florence says not sure how to answer. I feel the audio should have been released. Well, yes means release. No means not release. That's the latest. I'm going to check out of here. My next commentary tomorrow. Let's see. I wanted to talk about Scott Peterson. Let me bring you my latest updates. News updates. If I don't do a live stream on certain subjects, I always put a post up on my community page. This girl just read somebody's Facebook post. Dear God, she's stupid. I'm not even going to have to repeat what I just read. This girl is a fool. These are the latest updates in America right now. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt's son, Pax, has had a very serious accident. He was riding on some type of motorcycle, moped or something, and he has a very serious head injury. So that's one of my updates or latest breaking news. Robert Kelly, R. Kelly, is seeking to have the child porn convictions thrown out on a technicality. Scott Peterson has now decided to speak 20 years later pertaining to Lacey Peterson and their unborn child. That aired the 29th, which was yesterday, on Peacock, if you have Peacock. Tupac's family lawyer is prepping for the investigation that Diddy allegedly has involvement in his murder. Now, this is information that Keefe D had put out many years ago, that P. Diddy offered him money and offered some guy named Eric Martin money for a hit. Don't know if this is truth or not, or if Keefe D made all that nonsense up. It is what it is. Once again, the sheriff of Sangamon County has owned they failed Sonya Massey. He has apologized, but he will not resign. Justin Timberlake's lawyer says he was not intoxicated. Julie Chrisley will be resentenced September 25th, 2024. And Sarah Boone is now on lawyer number 9. She's decided to represent herself, and she's going over evidentiary material on her own. Oh, Lord. Her trial date starts October 7th, 2024, and the judge says that trial is going to go forward no matter what. Has to be some very outstanding circumstances for the trial not to go forward. So if she doesn't have a lawyer, hey, Gigi, thank you. That's on her. The judge is, I guess, tired of her BS, you know? And that's what people don't understand. All these mind games that they like to play in court, holding the court up. You know, same thing like what Kohlberger's been doing with that crazy ass Ann Taylor. People want justice. And the longer they throw these, you know, all these old tantrums and stuff, that keeps them from going to trial. They know exactly what they're doing. They're trying to postpone the inevitable. You know, no matter what we think of these people or not guilty, whatever. The point is, it's time to pay the piper, go to court, get your defense, and keep it moving. Stop holding the court up with the nonsense. So I'm just going through all my updates. On this one crazy case I saw, this guy by the name of Mandico Quazzo, 31, he's received a life sentence for first-degree murder of his girlfriend in California. They had an altercation in an apartment, I guess. He shot an apartment. She runs, gets in the car with her kids. He jumps in the passenger seat. As they're going down the highway, he shoots her in the head. She wrecks the car. It flips over into the river. He's able to get out, and he's watching her and the children drown in the water. Luckily, some bystanders came and saved the children, but the mother died in the car. He has now received a life sentence. Mandico Quazzo. It's one of my other updates. And a former KPD officer here in Knoxville, Tennessee, has pled guilty to inappropriate business with a child or children. And we have learned that Mr. Grayson does have a fiance, and they're supposed to get married in October. Another woman has been unalived by a police officer in Fort Lee, New Jersey. Her brother called to say she had a knife. He's outside the door. Police come. They breach the door. She's inside with her sister, and they make way, and they kill her. Shoot her in the chest. She's now dead. Don't know what all that is. I guess somebody be raising hell about that too. Lord have mercy. And please check out this PBS documentary I watched yesterday. Very, very good documentary. It's called Two American Families, 1991 to 2024. They show a white family and a black family struggling back in the 90s in America, St. Louis, Missouri. No, I think not St. Louis, but what I'm trying to think. Wisconsin, Milwaukee, excuse me. And it shows them from then up until now, what they're doing, how they're living, if they're still married, their children, things like that, showing you how they struggle with finances. It's a very good documentary. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I do highly recommend PBS. They have very informative information. And a trial date has been set for those accused in the Young Dolph murder. Rapper Young Dolph. Amen. Thank you, Jesus. And 3 people have been arrested in the rapper Julio Fulio's murder down in Florida. Some type of altercation. I don't know if it's gang related or whatever, but anyhow, they have 3 in custody. I think they have another one in custody too, because I didn't really check today to see who else got arrested in that. And Alma Powell, the late wife of Secretary of State Colin Powell, has passed away at the age of 86. My movie of the week is New Year, New You, now free on Hulu. Very good movie. Very good movie. This movie is about friendship. How well do you know your friends? Are you harboring any ill will towards your friends, old friends? Are all of you all as close as you think you are? Are any of you holding a secret that you all engaged in many moons ago? Well, hear ye, hear ye. I think you will thoroughly enjoy this movie, no matter what your age is. It is a movie pertaining to some young women, about 4 women who are friends, and they decide to spend New Year's Eve together, but things go terribly awry on this faithful. Have mercy, is it crazy? New Year, New You, now playing free on Hulu if you have the Hulu app. Just going over all my updates. And once again, children were attacked in a soccer field in Israel. We got more nonsense going on. And our wonderful Olympic gymnastics team ladies have brought home the gold. I think I read that earlier in the YouTube queue. So God is good. And then this one guy has been sentenced to 12 years for a drag racing incident that took place last year where one man was unalive, elderly man was killed. Trinity Clark, she was also drag racing. We're waiting to hear her fate in court. She definitely needs to get off the street. She's just a little troublemaker. Hold on, let me see. Can't find his name. I think his name is Treshawn Glass. Yeah, Treshawn Glass, sentenced to 12 years in prison. 6 years on vehicular homicide count and 4 years for each aggravated assault count. Because there were some children that were also injured. 2 children, ages 11 and 6 at the time, were taken to the hospital in critical condition. They underwent several surgeries and physical therapy over the following months before returning to school in August. Yes, an elderly man was hit and he died from that drag racing incident here in Knoxville, Tennessee. You are welcome, dear. Thank you, Miss Penny. Thank you all for tuning in. Once again, I got a lot of updates. The next live, I may do a live pertaining to Donald Trump. His nephew has decided to write a book. He's written a book. And basically he's saying that his uncle used racial slurs and talked very badly about handicapped people. Yes. And I don't think some of you people out there who follow Mr. Trump and like Mr. Trump are going to like what's been said, whether you are closet racist or not. He doesn't like disabled people. So I think this would be very interesting to hear his commentary, hear the commentary from the nephew. He's written a book. That will be my next live pertaining to Donald Trump. Lord have mercy. What a mess. Thank you all so much. And once again, if you'd like to donate to this network, The Dream, I almost called out my old channel name. Oh, heavens, not hard. $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. Thank you so much for your time. Y'all have a wonderful night. I'm going to relax. Queen got out tonight, got caught in that rain, and I mean, it was pouring down. I was flooded up, feet wet and everything. Luckily, I had some covered up shoes, but they're washable, so I was like, man, look at all this water. I mean, water was just like everywhere. Even just in the basic parking lot, just water filling up. I couldn't believe how fast the water was filling up. And also Dollywood, and Pigeon Forge flooded. Had a bad flood up there. I posted that to my community page if you want to check out that video pertaining to the flood up there at the amusement park. It's very interesting information. All right, everybody, I'm out of here. I'll be back with more stimulating conversation. You all have a wonderful week. You have been listening to the Vault XL.